Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about something near and dear to my heart. I'm just kidding. Today we're going to talk about some of the uh, UFO experiences I've had. I'm only going to share two because honestly, those are the only two that kind of stand out to me. So I'm dressed as a man in black, woman in black, the cap incognito, Da, da, da. Um, Also, I have the cap because of this little mic. I don't want to be holding it. Anyways, so let's get started. I'm going to talk about this first story. It happened to me when I was a child. And a child, I mean, I was maybe 10 or 11 years old. I think I was 10 years old, to be quite honest. Um, so what happened is, so let me set the scenario for you. We were visiting someone, and this person lived out in the outskirts of town. The place that they lived in it was a neighborhood, but there wasn't a lot of light pollution. Like the lights were yellow, and they were spread far apart from each other. And so we went to visit this person, and I decided I wanted to stay in the car. The reason was because I have been a stargazer since I was a child. Yep. I love looking at the stars, night sky. Whenever there's like a meteor shower, girlfriend's all up on it. I will, wake up at 3 in the morning to look at the shower, and then I'll spend like, maybe an hour outside stargazing. Um, anyway, so I stayed in the car because I didn't want to go inside, and I would rather look at the stars. And so what I would do is I would sit on top of the car and just kind of lean back, look up, and just take it all in, right? After a while, your eyes get acclimated to the light, so it's a lot easier to see the stars. They get, a little bit brighter because your eyes are taking in the light. Um, Science. Anyways, so I'm looking at the stars, and then I see this one object, you know, trajectory, like the trajectory is like in a specific direction. Actually, I do remember the trajectory was, hold on, I'm placing myself because I know the location. So it was east to west, but like southwest. Yeah, northeast to southwest, more or less. And so what makes this experience so strange was that um, as the light is making its way down, right, it seems to be avoiding the stars, right? So there would be like one star right here, and then it's going down. Whoop, let's avoid it. There's another star over here, that's fine, but there's another star in your pathway. Again, let's avoid that star. But it's keeping the basic trajectory, but it's just kind of like zigzagging through stars, which is honestly so wild to me because if you know anything about space, stars are so far apart. Like, there's no reason to try to avoid them in our night sky. It just doesn't make sense. But it did that. And I'm not kidding when I say it literally did do that. Um, so that was my first experience. I thought at first it could have been a satellite because I paid close attention to if it was blinking. It was not blinking. It was solid white light. It was very far up. So I was like, could be a satellite. But then the fact that it was just kind of avoiding the stars, that's where just my mind went nuts. I just couldn't believe it. Now, experience. Second experience. Um, I think this happened maybe when I was in high school. Maybe a freshman. Yeah, a freshman in high school or sophomore. Um, I've been a stargazer probably most of my life. I have no shame in that. I've been doing that since I was a little girl. I don't know where I got the love for space, but I did. And so this one instance, um, I was waiting for my mom to get home from work because she would get out late. Sometimes she would get out at 10, sometimes she would get out at 11 or midnight, and I was waiting for her. So I was outside. The place that we lived in was out in the outskirts of town again. It was very minimal light pollution. That spot would probably be one of the best spots to see the stars from the area, right? Um, what I mean by that is we lived on a main highway, and um, it was just like 5 or 6 houses. To my right, the house was pretty much abandoned. Ever so often, people would go in and like rent the house because the house was for rent. But honestly, I guess the rent was too expensive that people would just leave a few months afterwards, and then it would stay abandoned for many months and then so forth. So no people there, no light there. And then to my left, there was a little house, but the lights were always focused, like they were a little bit lower than normal for most houses. So um, the light from that house really wasn't like anything too powerful to say like, oh, you can't see because of that. Um, and then our house where we lived, it was a two-story house, very tall two-story house. And behind those rows of that row of houses for about, I want to say maybe 5 miles, absolutely nothing. No houses. It was just dirt and grass and maybe some trees and some cattle. Pretty much that was it, right? Um, and so in front of us, because again, we lived on a major highway, across from us was an auto body shop. And because it's an auto body shop, it's off. They have like a singular light in their parking lot area, um, but it wasn't super bright. So what I'm getting at is not too much light pollution, but enough so that you don't get bitten by snakes. So I was outside waiting for my mom, and it's the house. And then to the right of the house, you have the driveway, which goes all the way to the back. And then all the way to the back, absolutely no lights. We had no lights in the back. Um, and so you could just kind of stay in between the two-story house and then that abandoned house and look up. You would have a clear view of the night sky. Very beautiful view. So anyways, I'm looking up and then I see from coming from the south. So I'm my body's facing south, looking up, and exactly coming from the south, I see this block, this object, solid black object, very large, go fly right over our house and make it past. Make it past, right? And I know it's a solid object because it blocked the stars. It blocked the stars. Right behind it, another object, large black object, right above me, going across, making its way across the street, and then I don't know where. These objects made no noise. You could tell they were solid objects because, again, they blocked the stars. But also, like I said, there was light. It's not like it was all completely dark. We ourselves, we had the light from the patio or the front porch on, but I was a little bit far out. Um, so it's not like it would have affected me. I, it was crazy seeing those two black objects, and then I panicked. No, I didn't panic. I kind of went to uh, inside, and I started like saying, "I saw something flying above. I saw something flying above." But nobody else saw it with me. It was just me, and that was shocking. I don't know. Until this day, I don't know what it could have been. You could say it was. It was. I'm gonna be honest. It was flying pretty low. Both objects were flying pretty low for the size that they were, and they were not helicopters. In fact, when I lived there, there was this one time. where the helicopter was flying so low, I swear you could touch it from like the second floor, because on the second floor we had a balcony. You could touch that like helicopter, and it did not cover the size that these objects covered. Um, I don't know what it could have been. They looked solid, and they didn't look like they had the shape of a known aircraft. Um, so I don't know. I don't know what it could have been. But those were two cases that I personally experienced of unidentified flying objects. Pretty wild. If you're still here, thank you. Uh, thank you for allowing me to yap. It's kind of late, actually. It's way too late. But I have insomnia, and here I am. So, thank you. Have a great night. Bye.